Well guys, Zillow has done it again. There is another ad of Zillow's that I'm going to be reacting to today because it's so bizarro. But before we get into it, if you're new here, hey, I'm Celissa Gervils, and over here I like to talk about polarizing figures and companies that shape our world. If that sounds interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button. Okay, so we're not gonna waste any more time. We're gonna just get right into the ad and start reacting.
So I was dating this guy, Chris, for years. I wanted to buy a house. Chris didn't. But then I realized I don't need to be with someone to buy a house.
Okay, first of all, nothing wrong with Chris for not wanting to buy a home. Perfectly okay and acceptable and fine. It's also perfectly fine and acceptable for this woman to want to go buy a home on her own. And the sentiment of I don't need to be with someone to buy a house is theoretically correct. You don't have to be with someone to buy a house. However, in this economy, you kind of do. So we're gonna break down what her buyability says. Her buyability is $320,000 for a home. Also, let's take a look at the interest rate is at 7.3%. So I'm gonna do the math for you guys, okay? All right, I gotta put my glasses on here because I am blind, but okay. So for a $320,000 home, and we're gonna be generous here, and we're just going to assume that they're putting 20% of a down payment down, okay? That's generous. Most people do not put a 20% down payment down anymore, nor do a lot of loans require a 20%. It's pretty gracious if you put 20%. So 20% of 320,000 would be $64,000. First of all, I don't know many people who just have that sitting around ready to just put down on a down payment. Okay, and now the new loan amount with the $64,000 or the 20% down payment included brings the loan of the house to $256,000. At the end of your 30-year loan term, you would have paid $376,545.76 in interest alone. On top of that, you still have the $256,000 for the house that you borrowed, bringing it to a total of $632,545.76 in payments. That's well over $500,000 for one person to buy a home, okay? It's important to note that this does not include your property taxes and your insurance and a potential HOA fee. Like if that applies, if you bought in an HOA, you're gonna have fees on top of that, plus your phantom cost of just repairs and maintenance for a home, okay? So it's pretty extensive. That's a pretty extensive amount of money for one singular person. I know I could not afford that. I don't know anybody in my life who could afford that. I'm gonna be 100% completely honest with you. Doesn't mean that there's people out there who can't. Absolutely not. There are people who can, but this is not the majority. Okay, so now let's see, what does a single person need to make annually to afford this home? To be able to afford this, you would need, one singular person would need to have an annual income of approximately $69,347,000. Okay, now let's see what percentage of individuals make over $69,347. Let's just round it to $70,000. Approximately 24.68% of individuals in the US make over $70,000 per year. Not even, we'll just be generous and call it 25%. 25% of the population in America makes that just as one person. This is not household income. This is one person's income, okay? That's not the majority.
Good morning, babe. Coffee for you, French press.
Thank you.
Yeah, brand new.
Okay, so she ended up buying a house for $312,000, which was within her buyability of $320,000. Since that's just an $8,000 difference, I do have the math here. And here we go. For a 30-year mortgage, again, assuming they're putting 20% down on a $312,000 home, The down payment would be $62,400, so not far off from the original amount that we had. And then the loan amount would bring it down to $249,600. Again, you're still gonna pay after the 30 years $367,132.40 in interest, and on top of your $249,600 that you borrowed for the loan of the home. Again, making it $616,732.40. Still well over $500,000 for one singular person. And to be fair, let's see what income you would need. So here it says you would need between $67,500 and $75,000. So still in the same bracket as the previous numbers, still within a very small percentage of the population. Let's just finish this ad.
I could do it on my own. That was Josh. Josh is my neighbor.
Okay, personally, this is just my personal opinion. I would not be sleeping with my neighbor. But also, what are the odds? What are the odds you're gonna move in next door to some other person that's single, owns this home alone, that is in the same age bracket as you? Very not possible. So I just want to know who is in charge of these ads at Zillow. Who is doing them? Who is making these? And like, yes, this is what the people need. This ad is what the people need, because it is a very small amount of people that this would be appealing to. I mean, I feel like whoever's in charge of the ads at Zillow has to be trolling us. Like, they can't be serious. They really can't. Like, if they're serious, I don't even know. But I personally, I feel like they're just like, this is gonna piss people off. Here we go, you know? Also, again, comments are turned off. I wonder why. And the comments are not turned off on all of their videos, okay? They have their comments turned on many of their videos, but it is very interesting to me that there's some that they have them turned off on. I personally think that this ad is probably worse than the Housemates ad that I reacted to. If you have not seen it, here, it's right here. I'll do something for you. It'll probably be in the description, a card about, I don't know, something. It'll be somewhere here for you to watch if you want. I do have one more that I have to react to that is, you know, I could go off on. And I'm gonna leave it off with a question to you guys. Could you afford to buy a home on your own, just completely on your income alone, no other help? Could you? Answer in the comments below. I'm very curious. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh yeah, and click here for the next perfectly curated video that I personally have selected just for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.